Is the surprises that we've seen in the political drama that's played out in Maharashtra. Eknath Shinde has just taken oath as the new Chief Minister of Maharashtra. It was completely unexpected. And then in another twist in the tale, Devendra Fadnavis, who was widely expected actually to be CM, had announced publicly that he would not be joining Eknath Shinde's government. And then suddenly, a little while later, JP Nadda, the BJP president, and then Amit Shah both said publicly on Twitter and in sound bites that he would have to take the position of Deputy Chief Minister. Of course, they couched it in slightly different language, saying that he had been requested to take on this job. But Devendra Fadnavis contradicted very publicly by the central BJP leadership, and he took oath just now along with Eknath Shinde as the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. At 4:30 p.m, Fadnavis says, "I'm not joining the government." At 6:30 p.m, JP Nadda says, "Yes, you are." And at 7 p.m, so does Amit Shah. And it's after the oath-taking ceremony actually began that Fadnavis acknowledged Amit Shah's tweet and said that he would, in fact, very much be joining the government. Let's take a look at some of the key moments from today's developments.
खऱ्या अर्थाने आज आम्ही जो निर्णय घेतला त्या बाबतीमध्ये आपल्या सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे. मी वारंवार आपल्याशी बोललेलो आहे की बाळासाहेबांचं हिंदुत्व, त्यांची भूमिका आणि जे आमदार आहेत त्यांच्या मतदारसंघातली विकास कामं आणि राज्याचा विकास हा अजेंडा घेऊन आम्ही पुढे निघालेलो आहोत. आणि शिवसेना पक्ष म्हणून जे काही कायदेशीर प्रक्रिया जी आहे, नियम आहे, 2/3 मेजॉरिटी आहे, त्याहीपेक्षा जास्तीचे आमदार आणि सहयोगी आणि अपक्ष आमदार असे जवळपास 50 आमदार आज आम्ही एकत्र आहोत. गेले काही दिवस एकत्र आहोत. एक वैचारिक भूमिका, एक राज्याचा विकास आणि जे काही 2.5 वर्षापूर्वी घडलं ते आपल्या सगळ्यांना माहित आहे. देवेंद्र जी ने अभी यहाँ पर कहा कि हम लोग बाळासाहेब ठाकरे जी के शिवसैनिक को समर्थन दे रहे हैं. ये उनके दिल का बहुत बड़प्पन है. ऐसा कभी कोई करता नहीं जिसके पास 120 विधायक है, जिसके पास 120 विधायक होने के बावजूद ऐसा कोई ग्राम पंचायत और नगर सेवक का पद भी नहीं छोड़ता है. ये तो मुख्यमंत्री पद है. और ये आज उन्होंने शिवसेना प्रमुख बाळासाहेब ठाकरे जी के सैनिक को एक सपोर्ट किया है. इसलिए मैं आदरणीय पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र जी मोदी साहब को धन्यवाद देता हूं, उनका आभार मानता हूं. वैसे ही मैं गृह मंत्री अमित जी शाह साहब को भी धन्यवाद देता हूं, उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं. जेपी नड्डा जी अध्यक्ष हैं, उनका भी धन्यवाद. और खास करके मैं देवेंद्र जी को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं क्योंकि वो खुद भी इस पद को प्राप्त कर सकते थे, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा है मैं भले मंत्रिमंडल में नहीं, लेकिन मैं इस राज्य के विकास के लिए सरकार के साथ हूं. ऐसा जो इस राज्य में नहीं बल्कि देश में ऐसी मिसाल, एक मिसाल होगी. और आज के जमाने में ऐसा करना मुझे नहीं लगता ऐसा कोई कर सकता है.
मैं इस सरकार को पूरे तरीके से सहयोग करूंगा. मैं सरकार के बाहर रहूंगा और इस सरकार को सफल बनाने हेतु जो जो चीज करना आवश्यक है ऐसी सारी चीजें हम मिलकर करेंगे. मेरा विश्वास है आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने जो विकास का एक नया पर्व शुरू किया है, उस विकास के पर्व को 2.5 साल का जो ब्रेक लगा था वो ब्रेक निकलेगा और फिर से महाराष्ट्र की प्रगति की एक्सप्रेस ये तेजी के साथ भागेगी और उसके लिए मैं श्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्रीय टीम ने इस बात को तय किया है कि देवेंद्र जी को सरकार में आना चाहिए और सरकार में पदभार संभालना चाहिए, और इसलिए देवेंद्र जी से व्यक्तिगत रूप में भी आग्रह किया है और केंद्र ने इस बात को निर्देशित किया है कि देवेंद्र जी उप मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में, डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर के रूप में कार्यभार संभालें और महाराष्ट्र की जनता और महाराष्ट्र की लोगों की जो आकांक्षाएं हैं उसको पूरा करने के लिए पूरी ताकत लगाएं और जन जन की आकांक्षाओं को एक विकसित प्रदेश के रूप में महाराष्ट्र को खड़ा करने में अपना योगदान करें।
Well, we've got Saurabh Gupta joining us from Raj Bhavan in Mumbai this evening. Akshay Dongre joining us from Goa, where the Shinde camp is still holed up in a hotel, and Arvind Gurusekar joining us from Delhi on what the Election Commission could see in terms of a Shiv Sena battle. But first to you, Saurabh. Of course, Saurabh, a day of surprises. The decision to make Eknath Shinde Chief Minister first. What was the primary logic behind that?
Well, I mean, Nidhi, this is a surprise that one, of course, can see in terms of strategy. But then, of course, there are also several questions that are unanswered. The strategy could be, look, with this step, the BJP can tell that A, it has made a Shiv Sainik a chief minister, so it's not really focused on power. And I'll tell you why that works. In Maharashtra politics, there is a lot of sentiment attached, and there was a lot of sentiment for Uddhav Thackeray that he was wronged, and that a Shiv Sainik chief minister was kicked out like this, in terms of rebellion. So that was something that the BJP didn't want to take blame for. So they made Eknath Shinde the chief minister and neutralized that point of criticism, till some time. But beyond that, it's also very surprising how things didn't go according to script, because Devendra Fadnavis opted out. And then, of course, he was asked to come back and join as Deputy CM, and he had to join. Meanwhile, the Shiv Sena is asking one question, which is the Uddhav Thackeray-led camp, that look, if you didn't have a problem with the Shiv Sainik as a chief minister, why didn't you agree in 2019? That was all we wanted. This alliance would have never broken up. So that, of course, is a question that now the BJP has to answer. And, Uddhav Thackeray has consistently said that, look, all we asked for was part of an arrangement, 50-50, that, 2.5 years our chief minister, 2.5 years your chief minister. You didn't agree to it then, but then there was a rebellion and you agreed to it now. So what was the argument then? So these are, of course, the questions that are still unanswered. And what happened behind the scenes vis-a-vis Devendra Fadnavis as far as his opting out, then asking the party leadership, asking him to, and then of course joining. Last minute that third chair was added, as you can see on stage. Then we were live on the visuals then. His acceptance came as the governor arrived. So very, very strange what's happened.
But any reasoning at all that you're hearing about why this flip-flop happened with Mr. Fadnavis?
Yes, Nidhi, what we understand so far, and we've learned not to predict anything, as if we go by the last 5 hours is concerned. The fact is that Devendra Fadnavis has been chief minister, and I know on occasions he himself has argued that the deputy chief minister's post doesn't make sense. It's to pacify someone. It's given as look, you're unhappy, so we don't have that kind of thing. But then having to himself,
it's very, very embarrassing for him. It is embarrassing. When he came, of course, he smiled for the cameras, but you could visibly see he was not very happy with the decision. He has accepted the decision with the party's forced on him.
Right.
Now,
well,
what we understand is
we'll have to wait and see how that plays out politically in the days ahead, and what kind of equation he'll have with Mr. Shinde now. But Akshay Dongre joining us from Goa, and that's where the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena is at the moment. Akshay, they were, of course, scenes of them dancing when they heard that Eknath Shinde would be the chief minister. What are they saying there now? When are they going back to Mumbai firstly?
Well, Nidhi, in all probability, all of these MLAs who are holed up here will stay here for another night. In all probability, celebrating as far as the making of Eknath Shinde's chief ministership is concerned. But as far as the celebrations are concerned, the celebration started the moment news came that Eknath Shinde has in fact been selected for the post of chief minister. We saw their videos dancing. We saw them video calling Eknath Shinde. But what came out as a surprise for us, in all probability, also came out as a surprise for the rebel MLAs, the MLAs of Eknath Shinde's camp, because Deepak Kesarkar, one of these MLAs who has been very vocal, who has been speaking to the media, who in fact held a press conference today as well, he also said that we do not know for sure that what exactly is the arrangement that is between Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde. When asked about the question of chief minister, he also said that we had an agreement with Shiv Sena, with BJP prior to the election, that 2.5 years of chief ministership for both BJP and Shiv Sena. So if they ask for a chief ministership post, then that's fair as well. So he was trying to justify a BJP chief minister coming when the Uddhav Thackeray faction was attacking the Eknath Shinde faction, that you have taken post of chief minister from a Shiv Sainik and now given it to a leader from the Bharatiya Janata Party. So from the sources, even many of the rebel MLAs were not aware of this decision here in Goa. Earlier they were in Guwahati and then Surat. So while they were hopping from one state to another, even they were kept in dark as far as certain decisions are concerned.
Joining us for more on that, Arvind, it is quite likely that Eknath Shinde will say that the symbol of the party, etc., should be given to his faction. What do the rules say as far as the EC is concerned?
Yeah, Nidhi, after successful formation of the government, also becoming the chief minister, now the next the priority of Eknath Shinde will be to take the entire party from Uddhav Thackeray. In fact, that would be what even BJP will also be looking for. In fact, they want Eknath Shinde to become the Shiv Sena so that they can deal with him in the upcoming elections, also in the future elections in Maharashtra. So what would be the next step of Eknath Shinde if he plans to take over the party? One, he has to call for the apex bodies that in several national parties like national executive parties. In Congress, it's called Congress Working Committee. But also there is something, a similar kind of an structure in Shiv Sena also. So next, Eknath Shinde will be calling for the meeting of the party office bearers, wherein he would be trying to prove that majority of the office bearers are in his support. The moment he gets a sense of that, then he would be moving the election commission, saying that he should be recognized as the leader of Shiv Sena party and the party symbol should be allotted to him. If the Uddhav Thackeray faction contests that particular proceeding, then the election commission will go for a full-fledged hearing, that is to see which faction has the majority support. So for that, election commission has a set of procedure. One, they will be looking for the elected MLAs and then the Lok Sabha MPs and then the Rajya Sabha MPs and then the MLCs and finally the apex body office bearers.
Which means this
whichever
could actually be a long...
faction has the majority support of all this.
Right. It means it could actually be quite a long and ugly battle ahead. Thanks very much for explaining that to us.